welcome back to another video. This is Avatar: The Last Airbender movie review. Since I've already done the TV show, I wanted to give the encompassed review of the entire content that we have out there. As a movie adaptation from the TV show, it wasn't terrible as far as staying true to the original content. Yes, they changed some of the pronunciation. Instead of Aang, it's Ong. Instead of Iroh, it's Iro. Sokka is, or instead of Sokka, it's Sokka, stuff like that. There's a few that are, the same, like Katana, or Katara. There was differences, obviously. I guess, for those of you who watch this that might not know, as far as just didn't really care to pay attention to stuff like this, or just never really cared, or anything of that nature. There's things you can and can't do in film as far as the structure goes. For a TV show, which is why usually TV shows and books are a lot more better, I guess is the correct or the best way to say it, is because for like TV shows you have time to explore characters, to fully flesh them out, and that's why a lot of people say that Avatar has a great character development, is because it's got that time to deal with it compared to the movie. The movie has to move the plot along, and there is a lot of content from the show to cover for in the movie. You have him being discovered, you have the raid on the Southern Water Tribe trying to find him, you have him starting the rebellion with Sokka and Katara, and then you have to have him, all this stuff has to happen. And for like films and stuff, you have to have like obstacles that the hero has to overcome, which is, in any medium, you have to have an obstacle in order for fans to actually believe that this character is actually not going to get it at some point. Like, there has to be a belief that there might not be that, or that he might not get that, or she, or whoever, or it's just constantly like, will this ever end kind of thing. And it's supposed to be that way because when the ending comes, everything just seems so much more satisfying because they've overcome all this struggle, all these obstacles in the past, and then now that they're here and they finally did it, that means they've earned it. And this movie didn't do that because they were trying to stay too true to the original content. A lot of people like to say that it was a whitewash type of character casting, and I'm not saying that it's not, because from my understanding, it's supposed to be like Japanese, Asian style culture, and they chose, like a white guy to play Aang and all this stuff. I feel like that when they were casting for this movie, they were trying to get the look of the character more so than the ethnicity correct. Because if you look at, Aang from the movie and the TV show, the actor kind of looks like the drawing of Aang, so on and so forth. So I feel that that's what they were going for. On the acting, I'm not going to say these people are bad actors. From my acting coach at my school, he says that a really good director, and in this case was M. Night Shyamalan, can get the worst actors to be great or be good and be convincing. This movie relied so much on telling as far as the storytelling goes. You obviously had all the voiceover work from the actress for the guitar, and you skip a lot of the character development whenever they're starting they're pretty much liberating the Earth Kingdom, and then they're trying to find trying to like get their way to the Northern Water Tribe. All this character development, so they had to skip a lot of that just due to time in a film, because in film you only have maybe an hour to 2 hours to tell the story. Some, you obviously got like Endgame that has like 3 hours because they've earned that, or stuff like this hasn't earned it. So they had to fill in everything from, Chi, trying to establish that early on with the Fire Nation. They extended the time frame from the show, which was like 3 months, into the film, which was 3 years, until Sozin's Comet was coming. A lot of people probably said that was a bad thing, but in all actuality, it's not that bad if they actually filmed the other two movies, because they were probably trying to think ahead for film scheduling and trying to make it believable that these characters and these actors that'll age over time, it makes sense why they look like that in the movie rather than in the TV show, where you only have drawings of these characters and they never really age. So you have that time to be able to just say, oh, it's 3 months, that's all you got. But the show takes place over 3 years. You have that opportunity. In a film, And in a film franchise, you don't. You have to try to stay true to the real world and the fictional world that you're creating. Um, so I'm not going to say that this movie's terrible, because obviously, yes, that I would probably give this movie about a 5 out of 10. Yes, I gave the show a 6 because, few things or whatever. So it is behind the show. But I don't think by that much. Like, yes, they changed Sokka being this, wisecracking, sarcastic, constantly getting pretty much attacked accidentally. It happens in the movie, obviously at the beginning, whenever, they find Aang or whatever. But it doesn't happen enough, which is a problem in my eyes. Like, they needed to have that a little bit more. They needed to have him not being as serious. And that's what I think that they failed at in this movie, was they took it too seriously. The show didn't take itself seriously. They knew what was going on. Everything was believable, and they didn't have to feel like they were us in these movies learning about everything. They lived these worlds. But in this one, you had to explain everything, because there are people like me who originally went into it without watching the TV show the first time. And that's why I liked the movie, because I didn't see the TV show. I didn't have these preconceived notions of this movie has to be like this, like this, like this, like I did with, like, say, Percy Jackson. And I'll get into those movies later. Promise you, I'll get to them eventually. But yeah, like, this movie isn't bad. If you haven't seen it since you saw it in the movies, go back and rewatch it. It is on Netflix. So I do say, go back, rewatch it with an open mind. Yes, it's going to be a lot of talking. That is a problem. There's not that much action that there should have been, or the character development just isn't there. But I feel like they were trying to use this movie to set everything up and establish everything, so then the second movie and then the third movie can just be. And if they were to be able to do, book 2 for Earth Kingdom and then book 3 for Fire, then they would have been able to not just have to talk through it, which I'm probably sure that they would, because again, there's a lot of content in each season, to be able to do just a movie, a book, as books or a season or whatever you want to call it. So I feel like that's what they were leaning towards, and that's what M. Night Shyamalan was trying to get at, was we're going to establish everything here. We didn't get to the Avatar state, so that's why he didn't turn into that giant water monster and pretty much kick the ships at the end and stuff like that out of the way. It was because they were trying to establish, hey, he hasn't been able to master this part of waterbending because he hasn't been able to forgive himself for running away and leaving and everything of that nature. So that's where they were going. Like, they had to change a few things from the show to this, because they had to change how the movie was going to tell the story. So with those thoughts in mind and that understanding a little bit now, I'm pretty sure if you've seen the movie or grown up with it or whatever, you understand this type of stuff. But I'm just trying to make sure that you do go back to watch it and just watch it. Don't say, oh, this is how it should have been, or this is what it could have been, or just watch the movie and take it as a movie itself, not a movie adaptation of a TV show. And that's what I say with a lot of adaptations. It's a lot of people want to say, oh, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter were so great because of the source material, and they stuck to it a lot, and then Percy Jackson isn't that good, and Avatar isn't that good because they strayed too far from the source material to try to stay too much to the source material that it hurts them. Not really. Like, any adaptation, if you go on with an open mind, can be a decent movie or decent experience watching the movie. With that being said, I'm kind of just rambling, so I'm going to end it here. I'm going to be streaming on Thursday. I'm going to either do Dynasty Warriors 9 gameplay or Uncharted 4. Last week I did Madden. If you would like to see me do Madden again, I will probably do a little bit more for Madden Ultimate Team in that part, but I digress. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, it is about a 5 out of 10. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's just kind of in the middle, like it is a bearable movie to watch. Thank you for watching.